I know I wore that shirt to the gay campground. They was like slurp. I was like, don't look at me that way. Don't look at me that way.
Don't look at me that way.
Hey, community, here's what's brewing today.
It's Kamala, bitch.
I know that's right. 40 and forgetful.
And ask your aunties. I'm a bad bitch. Oh, so get your cups ready for Minoritea Report.
Hey, welcome to Minority Report and happy Labor Day. It's Auntie Carell.
It's Auntie Dewan.
And it's Auntea Landie. Ow.
Hey.
How you doing?
Landing in the place to be.
Yeah. What's going on? It's been a minute.
Man, it has been a minute. And hey, Auntie Honey, I know she's not feeling well, so she's out today. But you know what?
Yeah.
That's why we got the aunties in the wings. We got the aunties in the wings with the chest all out and the arms all out. Come on, Brother Nation. How you been, boo? It has been a minute since you've been out here.
Life is good. Life is good. Life is life. And yo, it feels like summer just started, that I just saw you Memorial Day weekend. God. Pushing that bucket of rum away, saying hell no. It feels like yesterday.
I know.
It's
wild.
Now
we are on Labor Day. It's like the
Labor Day
end of summer, the end of summer.
Like, damn.
Yeah.
It's wild because you can tell the days are already starting to get shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like,
just
started to enjoy it.
Just why?
And I thought we would start to cool down, but damn, tomorrow, and obviously the day we record, tomorrow about to be 100 degrees again. I'm like,
hey,
what the
I'm
fuck is this?
Yeah.
All for it.
Today was hot as shit too. I was like, man.
The weekend in the city is supposed to be like mildish. It's supposed to be like high of like 72. Like that's the high.
That's gonna be
like,
chilly over the
it's
weekend.
mild, yeah. So yeah, but then it's supposed to like creep up by Monday.
Okay.
So
we'll see. But yeah, no, you're right. Summer's ending. I know this is the last week of summer hours too, and I'm like, damn, that'd be the worst. That first Friday after summer hours. Be the longest motherfucking Friday of the year. You're like, this extra 3-4 hours is not cute. Is not cute.
We don't even do summer Fridays at all. Mm-mm.
Ooh,
nope.
So y'all still be working like a full Friday? Don't tell yourself, girl.
Enough said.
He said some of them do.
But not me.
Well,
very demure.
I do no meeting Fridays.
Yes. Got it. Caught it.
So not to say that I don't work, because honey, she put in them hours, but
you do.
Girl.
Absolutely do.
Girl.
That's a true statement.
Like, I'm not giving y'all all my free time. No. I need a day in the middle of the week to get shit done. Whether it's your shit or my shit.
Now you're doing other people's work though.
No, whether it's the company's shit or my personal shit. That's the team.
Period.
That's
the
team.
whole team.
That's the team.
I know that is right. I know, like, actually my whole career I've had summer hours. I don't know not summer hours.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't. Well, I mean, most of my professional career, I've been in the game for a minute. So most of my career has been in like retail, whether it's like, specialty apparel or, banking or whatever. So, we didn't have like that. And that really wasn't a thing until like, at least for me, like the early 2000s, something like that, like after 2007. And she had already been working for a minute since then, so she had 10 years in the game already by that time. Right. So
she said, "Me and Uncle Sam were quite fond of each other by that point." Right. Later, what's your favorite moment in the summer?
Oh man, my favorite moment of the summer really was Memorial Day weekend. It's this is my birthday every Memorial Day weekend every year. Yeah. So having you, Lewis, and just the whole crew there was just a lot of fun. It was my first time in Asbury Park since the pandemic, because we went in pandemic because there was nothing to do. The only place you could be outside without being in a radioactive suit was outside. Like that was it. You could just be at the beach. And so,
and community for that, those that know about Asbury Park is in New Jersey. So
yeah.
Because before I moved out here, I had never heard of that shit in my life. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. So that was just great. That first night was rough though, because I woke up, I was like, okay, I'm definitely 41. So I was like, shit. So that was my favorite. And then
wait a minute. So that means we're all 40 and over club.
Oh, this is a 40 club.
Oh,
this grown folk conversation. This extra grown folk conversation. we miss you, Handy, but ooh.
Right.
40 and fine club, honey. Look, 40 and fine.
Cue the quiet storm, because
right.
Not Marco Spoon though.
Yes, absolutely. Play that Anita Baker.
Anita Baker, right? Because Auntie Henry don't know nothing about no Anita Baker.
Play that Luther Vandross. Yes.
Let's get us some Tina Marie. Let's get some surface up in this piece.
Damn, we going that deep.
We going there.
I know that's right, and I know all the Gen Z listening like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Look, let me tell you, I was listening to Surface literally yesterday. Damn. They have the bops.
I'm bops. I haven't listened to them in forever.
Oh, I gotta listen. I'm gonna send you a whole playlist. I'm gonna send you a whole. I got a whole playlist of like just R&B love songs from like that era, when it was deep.
You felt that shit, and it's funny that we bring this up because before Dewan came on, Carell was like, "Oh, I'm just looking up Faith Evans," and he's like, "I ain't heard Faith Evans for a minute," and so I gave a look, and he's like, "Oh, you got some shit to say about Faith Evans?"
I was like, because I don't talk about Faith Evans enough. I love Faith Evans.
I know,
like, she was singing her.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
I was like, I don't talk about her enough, and then he later gave a look. I was like, you ain't about to do that to Faith.
I had no shade to throw at all. I was just wondering if you was gonna know what I was talking about when she was on that, when she was featured on that song with Karen Clark Sheard.
Yeah, because that's her vocal like tutor. Like that's who she like mimics. Honestly, in her record, she loves her some Karen Clark Sheard. So no. And actually, I'm going to see the Clark sisters this weekend. Actually,
oh, okay.
Really?
By the time this episode comes out, this Friday. Here in Philly, they're on the tour with Kirk Franklin. Is Kirk Franklin? Listen to this. Okay, this is the little gospel PK coming out. Again. Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, Marvin Sapp, and the Clark sisters. I'm about to get my whole church
where is your fan? Where's your church fan of your tambourine?
And my tambourine. And my oil. Get my good oil. My anointed oil, baby, fall out and come back up again.
Make sure them ushers are ready for your ass.
I can't wait. Because I saw they announced the tour. And I was like, I'm not going to go. But then I was like, you know what? I've been trying to cross off people off my bucket list of just like concerts to see folks live before they hang it up. And I know the Clark sisters are getting up there in age. I love them with all my heart. So I'm like, I need to see them minimally. I've already seen Kirk. I've already seen Fred. I don't think I've seen Marvin. And he's from Michigan. So I'm like, okay, Michigan, come on, stand up.
So wait, you seeing Usher and the Clark sisters this weekend?
Seeing Usher this Friday and the Clark sisters next Friday. But the time of this episode, Usher would have passed and the Clark sisters would be this week.
I'm seeing Usher next week. I can't wait. Yeah. My sister and I are we're going to Barclays, and this is for her 50th birthday present. So I was like, yo, I got some bomb-ass seats.
Yeah.
Bomb-ass seats. I cannot wait.
Are you on the floor?
See. I hope he get all the little...
damn near close to it.
Jitters out his show because people over kind of talking.
No, lower.
What's lower than 100? It's the floor.
Pretty much. I don't know the setup shit. I just know we got some bomb-ass seats. Don't be asking me these 50 million questions when I'm drinking on the podcast. Shit. It's a fucking CNN Inquisition interview here.
She said we got some bomb-ass seats outside.
He said we tailgating outside.
No, we gonna listen. Listen,
bomb-ass seats in my
car. Right off of Usher and right onto us.
Not my car.
He said we ride around the city singing, bitch.
You know what? That's close. What it takes.
We this close. Oh, that's
Right.
awesome. That's awesome. That's gonna
Yeah.
be an amazing. That's gonna be an amazing concert, especially at the
And I don't know
Barclays.
who's opening for Usher.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen anything if he has an opening act or anything, or if he's going to be the opening act like Beyonce. You know, he got enough songs to do that. So
Wasn't he
don't know.
injured? Didn't he get injured like maybe 2-3 weeks ago? And
yeah,
he wasn't sure if like it was going to rescheduled. Okay.
Yeah, it was the Atlanta shows. And come to find out, I forget, he was on some show or he got interviewed. Him and the crew, like for just like a last bonding thing, they went and played paintball, and something happened to him when they was paintballing, and he thought he'd be able to work it out the next day, and he couldn't work it out.
I think
Usher,
he part of that 40 and
you in the
fine
grown
crew.
folks club, Usher. You in the grown
Be a
folks
part of that
club.
40 and fine crew.
Honey, sit your ass down.
Because I know their
Baby.
knees are not popping and locking.
Yeah,
I saw this meme of this person who was like falling down the stairs, and they were holding onto the railing for dear life, and the look of sheer terror on their face.
I bet.
And it's like, I can relate to that.
You ever skipped? Like, you ever scooted down that step? You like,
I'm not about to become a meme. I do one step at a time.
When you
Baby.
when you in your 20s and your early 30s, baby, the bounce back is nice. But when you hit that 40 and over, you be thinking twice. There be
You be like,
sometimes
damn.
I'm like, let me stable myself before I get out of the seat. Wait a minute, let me.
It'd be so true. And it'd be kind of funny to you, like, damn, when did this become life? Like, I posted something yesterday, like on my personal Instagram, where it said, man, sometimes I think about just running full out just to see if I can still do it. I do. I'll be like, damn, I want to see if I can just like sprint like I used to, but I'm scared.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Listen, at the end of the day, we're all quite active. It's not like we're all like
Yes.
geriatrics over here, you
No,
know. But
But I ain't trying to get geriatric.
honey,
And I'm not about to let anybody clown me because I missed a step.
That. You ain't about to do that today.
Oh
We're
my
not doing
God.
that today.
I'll show you. Oh.
oh my gosh, I remember being a kid and like just jumping off of everything and anything, and now I'm like, woo,
No.
no, ma'am,
No,
jumping off
twice.
something. No, I will slide down some stuff, but I ain't
Slide
jumping
some
off.
oil to me. Let it pour down my spine. I know that's right. Oh man. Yeah. But community, hopefully you're out there having a great Labor Day weekend, you know, getting the last tunes on the, you know, barbecuing by the grill or on the beach and all that.
Real quick question:
Uh-huh.
have you ever heard of the term, and do you know what it means? Damn it, I just lost it.
40 and forgetful.
That's the title right there. 40 and forgetful. That's one of them this week.
It was Indians. It was Indian summers. What I was trying to think of.
Yeah,
Indian summer.
yeah.
Have you ever heard of that? That is a
I've
very
heard this since growing
Midwestern.
up. Right.
It's a very Midwest thing, but like there are a lot of people that have absolutely no fucking idea what Indian summer actually is. Yes, I've been having a lot of conversations like, yeah, you know, the summer's kind of coming to an end, but you know, we got Indian summer coming up, so that's gonna get. And they were like, Indian summer? What the hell are you talking about?
Hey, it's not a good term no more. We should be like, damn. Native American summer. It's probably Native American
well,
summer.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Indigenous summer.
Indigenous summer, right? You know, the other eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't heard that since probably growing up though. I haven't said that in forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you heard it when you kind of got back to school, like that first few days, and then you go back off for Labor Day or something like that. You kind of get those random like cold days, but then it's like that warm day again. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that forever.
Yeah. Chicago had the best Indian summers on the planet. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, I grew up in Ohio and we had some pretty good ones or whatever, but like Chicago Indian summers were amazing. You get like, you know, a couple of weeks of like cool and chill, like the first couple of weeks of like September. And then the last couple of weeks, maybe the first week of October is when you get like 2 or 3 weeks of just what feels like a rebreath of summer.
Yeah.
And it is hot, it is blazing, it is amazing, and the leaves are still on the trees and everything. It's just it's a great. And then right after that cold winter come in like a bitch.
It's like it comes with the quickness too.
It do.
Like, damn.
I'll never forget my my first summer in Chicago was 2020, and the day that Biden and Harris got declared the winners, it was I think it was a Saturday, and it was 81 degrees, and then people were out in the streets in shorts.
Really?
I was like, yo, this is the place to live.
Hey.
That.
And
then that blizzard came. I was like, get me the fuck out of here.
You said this ain't the place to live.
This ain't it. This ain't it. But you know, anybody that you talk to, for all the people that are listening, has never either been to Chicago or, you know, that never lived in Chicago or whatever. Chicago, like you talk to anybody who has, they always talk about Chicago with fondness. No matter where they've moved to, no matter what they did, they always talk about Chicago with fondness. And
only the media don't. The media, the only thing that don't talk about Chicago with fondness.
But that's
enough said.
Yeah, they got
like this.
Yeah, they're trying to sell stories. They not, you know. But you know what I do miss about Chicago, like among a lot of things, is WGN News in the morning.
That's some 40
y'all
shit.
don't know. Y'all don't know. Like
That's
this.
some 40 shit.
No.
40 shit.
No. WGN News, where they be like literally running skits all morning long.
They do.
Yeah. I'm not talking about the news, like regular news, like, you know, whatever. But like the morning news, news, WGN News, was that Channel 9 or whatever? They have the most hilarious. They're like Saturday Night Live every single morning because they clown each other, they crack jokes, they have skits and whatnot. Like it's a great way to start the day. Forget about the actual news part.
Wait, didn't WGN have didn't WGN have Corporate Aaron on? That whole skit. You remember Corporate Aaron from Instagram?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Oh, they did. They had her recently. No, they had her recently on it. They had her recently. Had her. I saw it on Instagram. Yeah. They had her
that was funny
on
though.
there. Yeah, they were asking her. They were asking her. They were asking her career advice and then job hunting advice and all this other.
It's so funny.
And corporate
get her on the podcast, please.
Come on, corporate Aaron, where you at, girl?
That would be cute.
It would be fun.
That should be cute. Yeah, for y'all who don't know, she's because I know there's a couple of like, you know, personalities out there, social media influencers, and she's the black chick that always got the messed up wig or whatever, and she's
the lace front is
that would be cracking me the fuck up.
What's her name? Aaron Beasley, something like that. Yeah,
I literally just saw a thing with her.
And that should just be popping up randomly. I don't even be knowing how I started following her or what, but it just be popping up randomly. But yeah, no, it is the tail end. And, you know, tennis is here, U.S. Open is here, so that's always fun. That's how I know it's like the tail end of the summer, because that always is like my marker of like, damn.
Oh yeah, here she is, corporate Aaron. Yep, Aaron Thropoulos.
But I know we talked about this last week a little bit, but like when we were recording last week, we ended right when the Obamas were getting on stage. Yep. So we'll do a little Democratic convention part 2 quickly here, because there is no better speaker in America, maybe the world right now, than Michelle Obama.
Girl.
And she's the only one that can get away with the style she has, because everybody adores Michelle Obama. So there ain't shit that old boy can say about her, because then people start going after him. Like, you see, he ain't said shit back to her.
Yeah.
Because he knows it's a losing game.
Yeah.
You're going to lose.
Literally. I was like, golly, she's just good.
You know who I was surprised, who I thought could have delivered better at the DNC? Miss Oprah Winfrey.
You know, you could tell it was a last-minute addition.
I was just
you could tell she wrote that shit on the plane on the way there.
I was just
not
like,
Destiny's Child edition,
it wasn't as smooth
as
what it could be, and she was kind of fumbling over her words a little bit, you know, and I was just like, this, I don't know. This is one of those moments where you say, you know what, fuck the script. I'm gonna go off script and just speak from my heart, because that would have been more compelling. But yeah, I was really surprised by that.
You could tell that was a last minute addition. She's like, yeah, I'll come. Yeah, I'll swing through.
You know who didn't swing through though?
Who's that?
Oh, you know who didn't? The people that everybody, the person that everybody was talking about was going to be there.
Was wild that night,
baby.
How did that even get started? I'm sorry.
TMZ.
Yup, TMZ reported it first.
TMZ reported that there was a rumor that they was there, and also reported that supposedly her jet had landed. Had landed or whatever. But
we all just be wishful thinking for Beyonce. I mean, shit, we want her to show up at the Kroger.
But baby, it wasn't
just don't shop at Kroger.
It wasn't just it wasn't just us regular folks that was watching though, because I was literally watching. I was watching CNN. I was like flipping through some of the different news stations, and every single one of them had somebody that was going through interviewing people in the audience. Like, oh, do you know who's going to be coming? I don't want to say their name, but do you really know who's coming? And people were like, say, oh yeah, I don't want to say their name, but there might be some bees in the house, and like all this kind of stuff.
Like even NBC that night said, "Ooh, a curtain just went up that hasn't been there all week." And now we can't see behind the stage anymore. They said they've been able to see people in the wings all week. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, only Beyonce would have that curtain put up. Like, bitch, you ain't about to see me yet. But now here's how I first knew. Like, I follow Beyonce's publicist, and she was at home. And Beyonce has never been anywhere in this world without Yvette there. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, damn, Yvette watching at home. She purposely did like a video of it so no, this me at home watching live home. I'm like, damn, if Yvette at home, Beyonce ain't there. And then sure enough, it started going out, and then they put like an official release saying Beyonce ain't gonna be there, hoes. Calm your ass down.
When did the release go out? Because I literally was like waiting up. Well, I know, but so I was literally waiting up until the moment right when Kamala Harris came on.
Probably I was
like, okay, well,
30 minutes before that.
Okay.
Oh, maybe 30 minutes before that. Yeah. And I was
I was glued to the TV set.
Which kind of makes sense. Like, Kamala probably wouldn't care, but the DNC would not want Beyonce to upstage Kamala's moment. Like, once you kind of like stop and think through it, well, people gonna be talking about Beyonce at the end of the day. It is what it is. It's
if
Beyonce.
Anything, they needed to have her the night before.
Maybe.
If that's what they were going to do with that reasoning, yeah. Yes, like something like you would not want to upstage Kamala, because let me tell you, Kamala fucking killed it.
I don't think she would have upstaged her though, to be honest with you. Like I get the sentiment. But like I honestly feel like it wouldn't be like a whole Beyonce performance kind of a situation. Right. It would be something that would be, really in tune with supporting this particular candidate. So, and I would imagine that she would probably have dropped a whole bunch of Kamala bombs in the middle of whatever it is that she was performing. Yeah. Like in my mind, that's how that would kind of show up. So I feel like it would only enhance experience. Oh, I get it.
Because people would have fainted. That cheer would have lasted about 30 minutes. She would have had to be like, girls. I feel bad. The fan would have been going. She would have just been standing there. We would have like lost our shit.
I feel bad.
And they'd be like, oh damn, now Kamala coming up. Hold on, let me recompose myself.
I feel bad for all the non-committals that decided they were going to go to the DNC because they thought that Beyonce was going to be there and she didn't show up, and they had to listen to all them goddamn. Amazing. Not just beautiful gowns and whatnot, but like amazing orations, right? And really great accolades and all that kind of stuff. But like, had to climb all the way up to the top of the bleachers to like sit in that seat to try to wait for some Beyonce to not show up. Like me waiting at home for Beyonce not to show up.
Sure was.
Baby, I wasn't going to the bathroom. I was like, I'm not missing. I know. I'm not missing a piece of this. And I was like, when Kamala came on and said, oh, damn.
Oh, come on. Well, damn.
Well, I mean, not for Kamala, but like, okay, this is, because it's not going to be Kamala and then Beyonce's going to close. Right. So I was like, okay, well, now I know. And I got to pee. And I know she's going to talk for the next 30 minutes.
No, that's so true. That is so true. And like Kamala's sister is so gorgeous too. I'm like, they just got some good ass genetics.
Honey. Yes.
They are. Yes. And then Kamala's brother-in-law.
Respectfully.
Baby. Respectfully. Presidentially. In them guts. Or mine one. Somebody gonna be in some guts.
Right.
Somebody gonna be in some guts. I was like, that's a whole ass man, Maury.
Yes.
That's a whole ass man, Maury. Oh my God. Corey. My husband's a mess. He was like, who is that man? I was like, I don't know. He sat up there. He was on his TikTok the whole night. When he saw that man come across the stage, he put that phone down.
He was like, blue.
So did.
I have to say, the amount of joy and excitement and hope throughout the entire DNC, not just not just the last night, but like throughout the entire thing. And I get it. There is a lot of like pageantry and and circusry you can imagine or whatever, but like as compared to the RNC, like,
which was dry.
Oh,
yo, like
cracker. Well, it tracks.
It was Wonder Bread.
It tracks for the people that
And speaking of, like, I look at the RNC and all I saw were people from Charlottesville in suits with maxi pads on the ears. That's all I saw. That's all I saw.
I can't.
Like,
baby,
for real,
baby. We're going to be telling stories to like our nieces and nephews about like the shenanigans of this whole situation. And they're going to be like, no, that didn't happen.
And they're going to be like, that shit happened in 6 weeks. The last 6 weeks have been insanity.
Insanity.
And you can't even, like, I watched Scandal for whatever 6, 7 seasons. And I was like, oh, that shit would never happen. This
and
so
How to Get Away with Murder.
And that. We are watching Shonda Rhimes
TGIT,
in reality.
okay? TGIT.
Baby, can't even make this shit the fuck
It's wild. But the one thing that I really love, speaking about the diversity piece that you were talking about in the Wonder Bread, as I was watching the DNC,
we were talking about the lack of.
Well, I know that. Yes,
it's the lack of. It was Wonder Bread and Coons.
The diversity of the DNC, the Wonder Bread of the RNC. I like all them cameras, and I saw just people of all different backgrounds and demographics. And I'm like, yo, especially with the lady with the snaps. I'm gonna start calling her church lady with the snaps.
And the second that happened, I was like, she doesn't even know. She just
she about to be a meme.
She don't even know.
She about to be a gift.
Yep.
Like, I was like, yo, this is the shit that I'm proud of. The shit that I want for my kids, my nieces, my nephews, all that. That's the shit that I want. That's the future that I am voting for.
Yeah.
And then I look at the RNC and the stale moldy bread, and it's just almost like that does not represent who we are and who we could be in the future.
Do you think so? Do you think some of them black people that show up to the RNC before Kamala got there was like, damn, I hope they ain't got me on camera?
Yep.
Like, damn.
Yep.
Damn.
Those are going to be the people. That's going to be this version Street Nick. 20 years from now, the documentary is going to come out, and there are going to be people that are deep in the Liberal Party right now. Like, I don't want that documentary to come out because I don't know what I was on back then.
You know who can't come back from this? What's old boy for the black boy from South Carolina?
Oh,
that was about to marry the white woman.
I can't even remember Mia names. I know who you're talking about, though.
His political career is done.
Yeah.
He tried to push up against Trump so hard and then did not get selected for shit.
Yep.
Baby, your shit is done. Bye, bitch.
Cooked. Yep. It's a wrap. He's gonna have to go into the private sector. Like
that.
What is he gonna do?
Nothing. And we ain't heard shit about their wedding since.
Well, and nobody checking for that.
You're right, though. You're right.
Keep that.
But yeah, like it's the audacity of hope and the audacity of joy. Like they try to pick on that, but they don't realize how powerful that shit is.
Yeah.
That's all this country really is, in theory, about is hope and joy to potentially be a little better the next day than today. That's
which also like, I mean, listen, I was gonna ride for Joe.
For
this is why.
Keyword four.
Respectfully.
Presidentially. whether he ran or not. But I have to say, on this side of that decision, it is just so exciting to be this optimistic about the future presidency, about the future that can be created there, and like so excited about what can actually happen. I didn't feel as much of that before.
Right.
I was voting because it needed to be done.
Right.
Out of country self-preservation, all those kind of things. But now it's a different kind of thing, because this is reminiscent of when Obama ran. For me, and a lot of people, but like for me, I can only speak for myself. This is reminiscent of when Obama ran, but different. It's a different thing because the stakes are different now.
Yeah. You're right. One else comment on that. Bill, there's somewhere that Bill Clinton's still talking. That motherfucker was talking so fucking long. That motherfucker's still talking somewhere. Oh, the damn! Wrap it up, B. Like, come on now. But anyway, but
I do love the fact that although you didn't hear as much about policy, right? You heard a lot about social issues, which is really what's driving a lot of things. There is a lot of optimism from the political pundits, especially those that lean more neutral. There's a lot of optimism about Kamala's economic plan, which is actually, speaking of Bill Clinton, is mirroring Bill Clinton's economic plan, which is essentially more taxes for the rich, more taxes for the for corporations, and then funneling the use of those taxes to help provide tax breaks for the middle class, which ultimately,
and building homes
which built the fucking 90s to the economy that it fucking was.
Absolutely.
So it's the right play, and it's gonna be interesting. I mean, and I get tired of them, and I know we'll probably move on here. I get tired of them saying that she's not talking about policy. Has old boy said a word about fucking policy?
Not a
so I'm tired of them giving this lady so much smoke about shit they ain't giving old boy smoke about.
Right.
Like, I'm tired of all that shit. It is bothered. Like, they do it for everything. And I'm tired of all the protests going just towards Kamala and not old boy. I'm tired of all of it. Give each candidate the same smoke if you want them to be president.
Yeah. And
honestly, old boy was already president too. Like, why are we giving him smoke? Like, damn, nigga, you was already president. You ain't did shit.
And that shit went downhill. Look at all of the shit happened. Look at all of the shit that happened.
And honestly, don't nobody give no shit about that. Like, ain't nobody care about no goddamn policies. People really are, at this point, most people care about social issues. My hope, though, is that with, if we can, ride the blue wave through this election, that we can carry that momentum into the midterm elections, because the reality of it is that your president can't do shit without a fucking Congress.
You're right.
They can't do shit without Congress. So we need to I'm just hoping that we can.
And we know
ride the momentum.
We really can't do shit. We really can't do shit if the old boy becomes president and puts more people on the Supreme Court.
It's a wrap. It's literally a wrap. I mean, for generations to come. This is not for literally. This is not for a presidency. This is going to be for generations to come. The way that the Supreme Court has been.
I'm going for the rest of my life. I'm going to Brazil.
And not gonna lie, I'm still a little bit nervous because of the way the Supreme Court now is stacked. If there is a challenge of the presidential results, there is a challenge there. So my hope is that there is a contingency plan to remove some of the more recent nominees to to that group, so that we can actually have a fairer assessment of what we hope will happen, which is Kamala gets gets voted in, and then she's able to move forward.
And so, I mean, this kind of brings us to the next topic here. So there's a lot of stuff just in the news this week. So I was like, how can, I like a little teasing. What's a little play on words and kind of just do a news segment. So we're going to call this, at least for now, unless we come up with something better. So maybe, community, if there's something better, let us know. We're gonna call this MSNBT. So, I'm glad y'all chuckled a little bit. Thank you for a piece. So we talk about this a lot. We've talked about this, literally the history of our podcast, about them purging voter registration records of folks. And you know what? Texas said, bitch, hold my ponytail, because we're going to do it even one better. Texas removed 1 million people from their voter rolls this week. And it says, Texas Governor Greg Abbott said in a statement that the removals represent an effort to protect the right to vote, and he got the word right correct, the far right to vote, and to crack down on illegal voting. These reforms have led to the removal of over 1 million ineligible people from our voter rolls in the last 3 years, including non-citizens, deceased voters, and people who moved to another state. That's what they claimed. But I lived in Georgia when they tried to do this shit too. And literally everyone, I had friends that got purged that were living, that I went and had drinks with and everything, that had to go re-register because they accidentally purged them from the voter rolls. So we have a lot of community members that listen in Texas. We have a lot of people that just listen across the country, period. Yep. So everybody, check your voter registration. We're in September now. We're getting a little too close for comfort for you to be like, I ain't know, and I ain't register, and I ain't re-register, and all that stuff. Check your fucking registration, because they are playing dirty games out here, and they're thinking that people are going to be too busy, which a lot of us are, to double check and do our due diligence, because we thought we're still out there.
And as a just as a means of an FYI, so having previously lived in Texas and grew up in Texas, you can go to texas.gov /living in Texas and check if you're registered. You don't need your voter registration certificate. You can just type in your last name, date of birth, and driver's license to check on your voter registration status. What really like kind of makes me chuckle in a really unfortunate way is that every time that we see any sort of election fraud story, it's actually Republicans doing that shit. It's guilty dog barking the loudest. Look what happened in Georgia. Look what happened in Arizona. Look what happened in Nevada and Michigan. All these Republican motherfuckers are the ones engaging in the actual fraud, whether it be through that electoral college scheme that they put together, or whether it be voting twice. I mean, it happened. It didn't even happen in Florida. Florida Republicans were charged, like citizens charged, with voting either twice in one state and then another, or voting in under someone else's name. Guilty dog barks the loudest. So when we talk about protecting our elections, we need to make sure that we finish that sentence, protecting our elections against criminal Republicans doing bad shit. That's what we need to correct that sentence to.
Yeah. I got about 2 months left in me for all this shenanigans. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it.
It's going to be a long year.
It's going to be a long ass Indian summer.
I said this once. Exactly. No, it's going to be a long ass colonizer summer, because this shit.
You're right.
This shit.
You right.
This shit ain't got nothing to do with the Native Americans.
You right on that. That is a word.
But I'm telling you, baby, and I'm not at this. I decided already. I'm voting early. I'm not waiting to the voting day. I'm voting early, and I'm bouncing. I'm getting out of. I don't want to be around. I'm not going to be watching no goddamn news that day. They're not even going to call it that day. We already know that it's going to be at least 3 to 4 days before they even call it, unless it's like a landslide in one way or another. But I don't even want to be around for all this shenanigans, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
I got to figure out where to go, though.
You said where I'm fit to go.
Right. Y'all got any suggestions? And
Canada, Mexico.
Know. I ain't going to Canada.
No, it's going to be
cold. No, it got to be warm. Honestly,
Anywhere.
I wish it was a good opportunity to go to Greece, but that's out of the season.
Yeah,
that would be nice.
It might be a little chilly there too. I mean, it'd be nice, but it won't be as nice as you want it to be.
No, not at all. Yeah, I gotta find
America.
I gotta find a place that's near the equator.
Let's go to Buenos Aires. What is it? Argentina? Is that Argentina?
Yes.
How the fuck you say it?
Argentina, Buenos Aires.
Thank you.
He said, I don't know how to say it, but I want to be there.
How the fuck you say it? That's where I'll fit to be, though.
Yeah. It would be summer by then. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. Yeah. I gotta go. I want to be somewhere. I want to be somewhere where ain't no way that I'm going to be seeing any information, even social media. Like during that time, I want to take a whole social media break. I don't want to be on. I don't want to be reachable. I need to protect my peace.
Community, if Minority Report go quiet for a couple weeks, leave us alone.
You know why?
Leave us alone. We'll be back. We'll be back.
We'll be back. We may be tuning in from a different country, but
that you might need to read the subtitles. It might all be in Spanish or some shit, but we be back.
All of a sudden, we didn't all relocated to Bogota.
honey, different backgrounds and shit. But like, we somewhere. I was reading an article today, and it confirmed my feelings on some shit, because I was like, living in Georgia during the last cycle was like insanity. Like you could not escape it.
Yep.
And then we just had Ossoff and Warnock, that election again in January. Right. Like it was just a lot. And moving to Philly, I'm like, okay, maybe it won't be as bad. I'm like, this shit is so wild out here. And I saw an article today that said the city of Philadelphia has the most political ads out of anywhere in the nation.
Really?
And I was like, I could tell.
Battleground.
It's insanity out
Ohio
here. Like, you can't
used
watch
to be a
YouTube,
battleground.
You can't watch nothing. Everything
used to be
a political
used
ad.
To be.
Yeah.
Used to be.
And I mean, and I know Pennsylvania is a huge swing state in this election. Like the amount of money that they're spending in Pennsylvania is wild.
Yep.
But
it's
I'm
19
like,
electoral
literally
votes.
the top 3 of the top 5 cities right now are all in Pennsylvania. It was Philadelphia, Harrisburg, and Pittsburgh in the top 5, and then the other one was Atlanta and Detroit. Yeah, and I was like, this is insane right now. But anyway, so yes, please, and then go to vote.gov. Like, there's even more information out there as well if it's not a Texas specific one. But go out there, check your registration. If you haven't registered, please register to vote. It's so critically important. Secondly, here today, the U.S. Appeals. Let me get the header here. U.S. Appeals Court clears way for Florida to ban on transgender care for minors. So we know, and I think we talked about this earlier in the year, how they originally kind of made this ban, but the Federal Appeals Court today cleared the way for Florida to enforce a ban on gender-affirming care for minors, blocking a lower court order against the ban while the matter is appealed. And so again, community, especially the LGBTQIA plus community, they are not caring about us, and they have elected enough judges out there to uphold a lot of this shit. So this is why it's so critically important, again, to vote. It's the only way that this country is somewhat set up for us to try to fix some shit. And even then they try to rig it a little bit, we know. But it's the only way for shit like this not to continue to happen.
Yeah. This is people just don't understand that understand the slippery slope, and I think a lot of people see that what's being attacked, so to speak, is fringe communities like the trans community. And if you don't know somebody trans, you never encountered anybody trans, and you have your own perspectives about trans or whatever, it's easy to disassociate. But once something like this happens, it starts trickling into other minority groups. And when you lose the ability to have a voice, legally to have a voice, it's a wrap. It is a wrap. Like, that stuff does not get overturned just because, the powers that be come to, their senses or whatever. It takes literally blood, sweat, and tears, tyranny. It takes decades of work to make these kind of changes. So, and let's not forget that women only got rights to have, to own property and to be able to participate in voting and to own businesses and whatnot. Literally,
so you can get a damn credit card.
Literally in like the second half of the 1900s. So like, it's not like we're talking about We're talking about stuff that was so far back in the day.
Talk
Y'all
to
better watch
your
out.
parents and your grandparents. They got
Y'all better watch out.
stories.
Y'all better watch
Seriously.
out. Because they come for some of us, and then they come for all of us.
Oh,
And just a reminder, just a reminder that going not to stay on elections, but that 11th circuit was bumped up to as conservative as it is because Trump was elected. He stacked those judges to have that conservative majority back in February of 2020 before shit went downhill, downhill. So we have to remember that, yes, it's also about policy when we vote and social issues, but it's also case law that is being decided when we vote for someone at the voter registration booth. When you vote for that president has that power to appoint those. And don't forget, there is no filibuster when it comes to judicial nominees in the U.S. Senate. So you can have a 50-50 vote, and that vice president, if it's, trash Vance, then that is done. So don't forget that it's not just it's not a popularity contest. It's not. However, it trickles down and really truly does affect local people every day. The 11th Circuit covers Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. Florida being one of our most populous states. So we're talking like people's lives are being affected by these decisions. And we know through history, by what they say, by what they do, that they will come for us. They will do everything that they can to take our rights away and how we raise our kids, how we live our lives. They're trying to come for gay marriage again. They're trying to come for marriage equality again. Yeah. So, voting does matter.
You know what I miss?
What's that?
I miss the Olympics. I'm
for Dewan to say that too.
I'm just like, all this shenanigans. Like, I miss the Olympics. I miss how gay the Olympics really was. Ooh. And all the memes and all the all the shade that was going on, and the comedians kind of getting into it. Like, they need to.
We were all on one page for a hot second.
Yeah.
Just for a hot second. Yeah. We're all on the same page for penises and America winning gold.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then now we've got to reality.
That's like summer going into fall. Like summer is the Olympics and the fall is like everything else.
Oh damn! I like the fall though. So maybe
fall is my favorite, but
fall is my favorite.
But you also you get slapped in the face with a lot of reality. Like you ain't going to the beach no more. God damn it!
He's not up here.
You better put on your boots and get some pumpkin spice in your lattes and get a stick for your marshmallows and s'mores.
Right. Get your s'mores ready.
Get your knitted hats out of the storage bins and shit. Like
it's cuffing season.
Right, exactly.
Yes. Now that I'm looking forward to.
That's right. That's the fun time. Well, for more news here, this human being I'm about to say is starting to put himself in the same category as Elon Musk for me. There's no way to escape his company at this point in time. But he really started to get on my damn nerves. So CEO Mark Zuckerberg said the Biden administration has pressured the company to censor COVID-19 content during the pandemic, apparently referring to White House requests to take down misinformation about the coronavirus and vaccines. In a letter dated August 26, Zuckerberg told the U.S. House of Representatives Judiciary Committee that he regretted not speaking up about this pressure earlier, as well as other decisions he had made as the owner of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp around removing content.
Next.
Bitch, sit your pale ass, Wonder Bread ass down. Shut the fuck up. Like,
why you talking about this shit now? You ain't got shit else to do. Like, go run your companies.
And you got pressure to take down misfucking information on your misinformation ass site.
You got pressure to save lives? Oh,
right.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Bitch, shut up with your whack ass haircut. Golly,
Chili bowl
stealing all the land
haircut.
in
No,
Hawaii
thank
from the
you.
natives. What else can I say about this?
I'm not gonna lie though, that AI rendering of him with the beard was kind
With
of
the beard?
Cue the picture. It was kind of like,
Don't even do. I don't even want to give him no sex appeal.
No,
'cause that
the
motherfucker
reality
making
of
me mad.
the thing of it is that he won't be able to live up to it. So we can like the
'cause you know he
AI.
got
'cause, you know,
he's a scraggly ass, patchy ass beard, motherfucker.
mhm.
Ugh.
His
Like,
dick probably curves 2 ways. It goes like this
Ooh.
and that.
It's like translucent and extra pink and
And he's got
Sorry.
IBS, so you can't get it coming or going. Like, you know,
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh
shit.
God. Anyway, so community, if this don't show you who he rooting for, I don't know what does. And let's see, and then finally, and so a lot of this news is depressing. I'm sorry, community. We know it's gonna be this depressing, but it is what it is. Lowe's changes DEI policies in another win for the conservative activists. Home improvement retail chain Lowe's is retreating from some of its diversity, equity, inclusion commitments after receiving word it would be the next target of conservative activist campaign against companies that champion DEI.
well,
The concessions include no longer participating in surveys for this human rights campaign and LGBTQ advocacy group. Lowe's will also combine its employee resource groups for diverse employees into one organization. So we've seen this be
Fucking
kind of
depressing
the
ass
newest
shit.
thing that a lot of these conservative groups are doing, targeting DEI. We already saw affirmative action go down. We saw Target do shit last year, and we saw them squash their sales. So as an LGBTQIA podcast and member of the community, we need to start showing these businesses that our power is more than these conservative groups. We have a lot more discretionary cash, disposable income. Let's start showing these companies what to really do when we don't show up and buy the shit, because this is out of control. And these leaders of these companies, you could tell that they must not be diverse because they don't realize they're not thinking long term at all. This is so short-sighted to me.
Or big
because
picture.
diversity is what elevates all the companies that do well and sustain being relevant out there.
and let's just be clear. Lowe's, between the big giants of like, you know, Lowe's and Home Depot, I mean, I don't do a lot of shopping in either one of those places because, you know, she has an apartment, but
She said, I don't do manual labor.
but out of the two, I've always been a supporter of Home Depot because Home Depot has historically been supporting social issues. Well, and I'm not saying all I'm not saying all the way,
Home
but I'm
Depot's
just saying
bad.
And Lowe's is even worse.
I don't know.
So they've donated to federal lawmakers who oppose voting rights legislation in the 2022 election cycle. They donated to federal lawmakers who objected to certifying the 2020 presidential election. Donated to federal lawmakers who opposed creating the congressional January 6th investigation. Like the list goes on in terms of what Lowe's has done. So yeah,
Damn, same with Home Depot. That sounds like the Home Depot list too. I stopped shopping at Home Depot because Home Depot is based out of Atlanta, and everything in that at least the gay community in Atlanta, same thing. They were like, this shit that Home Depot supports is insanity.
It's crazy.
So this sounds like, damn, do we need to go? Ace is the place to or Bear store. Is Ace the place?
Get your shit on Amazon.
Jeff Bezos ain't any better. Damn, we can't shop nowhere. I'm just gonna go in the backyard and start chopping down trees and shit.
Hey,
come on, Paul Bunyan.
Hey,
right?
Bogota's looking pretty good, ain't it?
It was hella good.
Buenos Aires.
Where can I get me a lumbersexual and start chopping shit for me?
Oh my
Damn.
goodness.
This is the ghetto. Ugh.
Light refrigerator.
Baby. So again, community, it is so important for us to stay visible, to show up, speak out, use your coin. However is your ministry to because I know some folks are like, I ain't on the front line. I can do monetary. Some folks are, I ain't got the coin, but I can speak up and outwit and outshade these hoes. Do what you got to do to show support for our communities because they are coming after all of us. Mm-hmm. All of us that don't look old, white, and ragged. So, golly, like this is craziness. On that note, we're gonna take a quick little tea break.
Yeah, we need
We'll be right back. We'll ask your aunties. Hey, community. A lot of you have asked how you can support Minority Report outside of the sharing and downloading and subscribing and leaving reviews. But you can also buy merch. Come on, baby.
I know that's right. And we have a whole lot of options, from clothing to pillows to tumblers and bags. And we continue to update all of our stuff with new styles, new colors, and new products. Jarrell, where can they get all that stuff at?
Well, they can get all that and then some at minorityReport.com. They can find all the goodies, find out additional information about your aunties, and we also want to make sure that you share and tag us when you do buy merch, all right? So let us know if it's a hoodie, it's a tee, a long shirt, a towel, because we know you need those, but let us know.
Absolutely. And remember to wash your hands, your legs, and your ass. All righty, ladies, what time is it?
Ask your
aunties. And by the way, we got new merch out there. I was just doing that. I was like, hold on, we already got our new shirts on and shit. We got the slurp out there. We got Mala 24, which stands for My Auntie Leads America Ho. So if you want some new merch out there, hey, fire up. Get you some new merch out there. That's a major way to support Minority Report, which is also a minority-owned, company. Yes. So put your money where your mouth is to help your aunties out to stay successful out here for many, many more episodes to go and seasons to go and years to go and all that good stuff. But that allows us to do more and bigger and more ideas and things like that to just really stay visible for our space, because they're trying to chop everybody else down, but they can't chop us down, ho.
And I have to say, for those of us that were like OGs with our merch to today, the quality of these tees are so nice because the first iterations were like a little bit like cardboard.
They're a little crunchy. They're a little crunchy. They're literally like a little crunchy.
I was like, what is this? They be standing up and walking away after you get them out of the shower, out of the dryer. Like, what is this?
It's like, damn. So,
but these new ones
check
are
us
like,
out, minorityReport.com and all
like
that
butter.
stuff. So I know you just saw the commercial, but just live, we got some new shit out there. But so we always talk about the tea line, how we want some more in the tea line, and this one's been out there. This one came in during Pride Month, but we just now catching back up. So sorry, boo. But we have a live tea line question this week. So here we go.
Hey, aunties. This is Auntie Cold Brew Whiskey, Travis McMaster calling. Happy Pride. I was calling the hotline because I was just kind of curious if y'all ever had to kind of work through imposter syndrome, whether that was in the workplace or out of the workplace, and just kind of curious about how you may have how you went around kind of tackling that and getting over that hurdle. So really curious to know your perspectives on tackling imposter syndrome. So thanks in advance, and look forward to hearing from you. And happy Pride. Toodles.
Happy Pride.
Happy Friday. It's
Happy
Pride
every day.
Every day. Landon, what you thinking, boo?
I had to go first.
What do you want us to go?
Let me let that marinate.
Yeah.
Let me pass the collection plate to somebody.
You want to go? Or you want me to go?
I'll dive in because I think it's important to define what imposter syndrome is, because people may be like, well, I think I know what it is, but it's not. But imposter syndrome is that common feeling that people have where they doubt their own abilities, they doubt their achievements, they believe that they're not deserving of their success, and so a lot of times that shows up specifically in corporate America, where there's an incredible amount of competition that exists in terms of the kinds of projects that you can be working on, the kinds of initiatives that you might be driving or supporting, positioning yourself so that you can have more visibility within the organization, so that you can actually use as a platform to grow your career within a particular field. And so imposter syndrome is really that to put this in RuPaul Drag Race terms, it's the inner saboteur.
Yeah. That is a good one. I find I don't struggle with it as much anymore. Maybe, and I find whenever I do feel that feeling is when I don't feel maybe as prepared. Like I find that my superpower is preparation. Like, and sometimes I kind of enjoy just the preparation of stuff. And so I feel a lot of times a lot of people ain't gonna out prepare me. They're not gonna outthink me. They're not gonna outdo a lot of that stuff. So I don't be feeling that too much. But when I do, it's because I know I probably like, damn, hold on, girl, you ain't put your all into it, or you ain't feeling it and things like that. But how I've gotten over that is preparation for me. And then what I've also kind of found as I've gotten older, especially in like corporate America, a lot of folks are faking it till they make it.
Girl.
And I didn't realize that until I got older. Where I'm like, hold on, this hoe don't know either. And that's okay. You know, it's okay to sometimes be like, damn, I don't know, but I'm willing to find out. I'm willing to put the work in to figure it out and things like that. But sometimes you just gotta fake it with the rest of us, you know, and tell yourself that you are just as you're supposed to be there. I couldn't think of the word I'm trying to think, but you're supposed to be there. And a lot of times, if you just be like, I'm supposed to be exactly where I'm at in this moment, and that's okay. And it's okay that maybe sometimes you might feel a little guilty, but like, damn, maybe they do know a little more. But you're there for a reason. You are there for that particular skill set you have, that particular temperament that you have, that whatever it may be, and continue to work on it. And I don't know. That's what I've had to kind of like trick my mind when I have those moments at times. Be like, no, I'm here for a reason. Sometimes you got to figure it out. Sometimes like be like, oh, some project comes on, be like, oh, hold on. I'm here for this reason because I am very good at this. My skill set is really going to shine. And then also make sure you tout yourself. And make sure you have a manager that also touts yourself. Because sometimes you gotta be your biggest fan. Even if you feel like you might not be the best in the room, you better fake that shit because someone else is faking it and trying to fake it better than you. So tout your shit, talk your shit. Even if you don't believe it right now, disguise that shit because someone else is doing it that's less skilled than you, less talented than you, less personality than you, and they're gonna pass you by just because you want to like make yourself smaller. Don't make yourself small no more. And this is me preaching to myself. So I'm gonna edit this and be like, okay, Corel, okay, Auntie, you need this message today because we all have those moments where like, I'm not just feeling it, and I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, and I feel like I just got this by the skin of my teeth, and it is what it is. You there now, and figure it out, and you'll be okay. So you got to just trick that brain because, like Dewan said, it is that inner saboteur thinking that somebody can do better. No, you're there for a reason. In that moment in time, the universe made sure of it. Tap into it.
Yep. Landie, have you ever experienced this kind of concept of imposter syndrome?
No, because I know I'm a bad bitch at work.
Oh, I know that's right, bitch. You talk that shit. Talk that shit.
But I will say this: there are those individuals out there who would love to put me in the space of feeling that and feeling like that I'm not good enough, that I'm not prepared, that would love to see me fail. There are people out there that are that are plotting and planning and praying that you fail. And so there are people that would love to, I don't believe anybody makes you feel anything, but there are individuals out there that would love to convince you of your kryptonites and the things that your those inner saboteur feelings. And so I've never felt that at work, but I will say that I felt that in relationships, and I felt that in my marriage, and feeling that I needed to be more or something different than what the relationship actually needed to be, or who I was supposed to. I never showed up as my authentic self in some of my relationships. And so I felt like that imposter syndrome in some of my relationships and my marriage may have contributed to those not being successful. Now, I'll always own my shit, and like, could I have done something better? Could I have been more empathetic? Could I have been more understanding? Could I have been less Shanae and a little bit more Gina, right? Like, I just like,
come on with the Martin reference.
right? But I recognize that I've had moments of imposter syndrome, and not to put it all out there, but in this current relationship that I am in, I finally find myself not feeling that way, in being authentic and realizing that relationships are not just about intimacy. They're not just about talking every day and sharing, but it's also about growth, and that there's a lot of growth that I have to make as a human, as a man. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't need to show up perfectly. I don't need to say everything perfectly. And so in those moments where the imposter syndrome starts to creep out and be like, yo, I'm here to make you feel insecure. I'm here to sabotage your shit and make you feel like you don't deserve what this man or this person is offering you. I just have to remember that I've been put in this place for a reason, or in this moment of time for a reason, and that I belong here. And it is ultimately up to the man above and the person I'm with and me to determine when I'm no longer in that situation. So when that inner saboteur, that insecurity, about my insecurities start to come out, I just have to remember I'm supposed to be here until I'm not. And if anybody else has a problem with that, still know I'm a bad bitch. So there's that.
I know that's right, bitch.
I can 1000% relate to anybody that has felt imposter syndrome, because I felt it at almost every single job that I've had, every single corporate job that I've had. Because most of my corporate jobs have been a step above. And as I've climbed, the corporate ladder or whatever, and have moved from one company to the next and one role to the next, I've almost always have been put in a situation that's been a stretch for me. So I know exactly what imposter syndrome feels like. I know what it, like, how how it manifests itself. This is, and I'll just, again, speak from my own personal experience, because I imagine a lot of folks who are in corporate roles or whatever, can probably understand this. My imposter syndrome doesn't show up to say I doubt the skills that I have. It is about being in new situations that I've never done before, that I've been provided the opportunity, and now I got to show up. Yeah. And I got to deliver. And because I built a brand for myself that says I'm the kind of person that you can lean on. I'm an executor. I get shit done. I'm not a creative person. I'm an executor. I get shit done. Whenever there's something that needs to get done, that I'm the one that makes sure that happens. But, I've been fortunate enough. Well, let me take a step back. As I've grown in my professional career, I really haven't had a lot of folks in my family that have been in the corporate space. I have some folks like my Aunt Debbie, who's been in the corporate space or whatever for a while, and I've had other professionals that are kind of in my ether, but not a lot. And specifically not people that have been on the HR side of the house, which is a completely different thing than having a specialty. So my aunt Deb, was more on the finance side of things. She has an accounting degree, an advanced, accounting degree, and whatever. She's led, teams of finance teams, a lot across some disciplines or whatever. That's very different than working in HR. And so, I've always had to be very self-reliant on my own capabilities and promoting myself and getting myself out there, making sure that I'm building relationships with key players around the organization, showing up, delivering what I say I'm going to be delivering, and building a brand for myself that affords me opportunities like the ones that I've been able to take advantage of. And I'll give you a perfect example. I joined DocuSign 4 years ago. I've had 3 jobs and 5 managers in that time. I started out on the learning development side. Most of my work has been in learning development under HR. That means building learning and development training programs, leadership development, coaching, et cetera, programming. That's what that means for folks who are like, what the hell does learning development mean? But that's what I've been doing for the vast majority of my career. I started out building, I joined DocuSign to build out a new function for them around what they call inclusive talent development. That was basically building a whole new curriculum, programming and training and resources, like job aids, discussion guides, et cetera, like, enablement tools to help people develop their inclusion skills, because that was a focus of the organization. I heard about that. I was like, oh, this is great, because it's a pivot from what I'm currently doing, which is kind of like learning development across a whole bunch of things, tactical, training, sales training, leadership development, et cetera. But this was more focused on developing inclusion skills. And I was really passionate about that. But I didn't really have a strong background in that. So,
Right.
like for me joining the organization, I know what I can deliver, but I also knew that I still needed to grow and needed to develop. And so that imposter syndrome started kicking up. Well, damn, I really don't have as strong of a background in this particular experience. I'm going to have to learn really quickly. Am I really going to be able to do this? Are they going to look for me to be able to deliver faster than what I can? And if I can't, does that mean that I'm going to get, terminated from this opportunity? All that shit starts coming up. My current job, I'm now the director of culture and engagement, employee engagement. And it is a new function for the business where I'm driving our culture strategy for the business and also leading a team that manages all of our employee engagement programs, like our ERG programs, our Global Inclusion Speaker Series, our recognition program, our self-ID campaigns and things like that. And so, but these are things that I've never done before, ever. But my leadership, my team, the broader team, my peers, my colleagues, I built a brand for myself that I can deliver. So for me, I just share that with you as context to say, listen, I know we all come out and we talk about all these accolades and all this stuff, but it doesn't mean that, like our shit doesn't stink. We have moments where we're all struggling with a lot of the same things. And I've talked a lot about imposter syndrome with the work that I've done throughout the years. And so from a best practice standpoint, here's some things that I say for myself, and I hope that this is helpful for you. Number one, what I would say is the best thing that you can do is challenge those negative thoughts as soon as they come in. It's okay to feel them, because trust me, when I got my new job as the director of culture and engagement and being charged with transforming the culture of our organization, being responsible for this multi-year initiative, working with our executive leadership team, with the 2 consulting firms and whatnot, all these people that have all this industry experience. And here I am, never done this before. But what I knew was that my leadership, my colleagues, my teams had enough confidence that I could do the job. So even though I was like, oh, am I over my head? I don't really have a lot of background in this, and something I've been very familiar with going through. I fully realize that it takes me about 1, 2 or 3 days to kind of like just go through that. And I just got to work through it. It's kind of like grief, like you got to go through all the stages of, denial, and then finally get to a point of acceptance. Say, okay, well, damn it, I'm here now. What am I going to do? Right. Am I going to fold under the pressure?
Sometimes your brain tricks you to thinking that's the reality.
Absolutely.
It's not quite the reality.
And, you have a choice. You have a choice to fold underneath the pressure or rise to the occasion. And the cool thing about it is when those negative thoughts come in, it's not like we don't have tools at our fingertips to help us get up to speed quickly. You don't have to be an expert in everything. And so I'd say once those negative thoughts start coming in, that's challenging to say, oh, you don't really deserve this. You don't really have a seat at this table. Like you just faking it until you make it. And someday, one of these people are going to find out. The reality of it is, as soon as those come in, acknowledge it. Just acknowledge it. Recognize that this is part of your growth process. You're doing something new. You might be entering an environment or on a project or in a task or in a new role that you might not have all the experience to back that up, but you've got other kinds of experiences that you can lean on to help you get there. So I say that's number one. I think the other thing is focus on and celebrate your own achievements. There are a lot of transferable skills that we garner, like when part of the reason why I stayed an individual contributor, because I was an individual contributor in an individual contributor role, and I passed up moving into managerial positions under the guise that, oh, I'm not interested in climbing the corporate ladder, and that's just not my thing, and I'm not really like that kind of like, no, nigga, I was scared. I was scared because I didn't want to be a leader that failed. And I didn't want to give up the mastery that I had of the thing that I was doing in my job to take on a new thing, which is how to learn how to be an effective manager and leader of other people. That was really what's driving my
statement.
And a lot of people,
it's the fear of failure.
Bingo. So,
at what point in our lives have we not failed? Right? Like, it's part of life.
It's the skills of how you navigate fear and how you navigate failure. That it's the skills. So if you're not adept to doing that, a lot of people say, I can't do that. So I'm not going to do that.
Right.
So as opposed to saying, I don't know how to do that now, but I'm going to figure it out. That's a different shift in the mindset. It's a different shift in the mindset. So for me, when it comes to imposter syndrome, recognize when those negative thoughts come in and just challenge those. Why am I feeling this? What's really behind this? And then shift to focusing on your own achievements and what transferable skills can you use to be effective in the thing that you're being tasked to do. I think the other thing, and one of the most important things, and then I have just one more and then I'm gonna stop. It's important to voice these kinds of things with other people, because oftentimes we don't know who else is feeling the same kind of way until you have the conversation. That's why podcasts like this and why we have Ask Your Aunties is so important, because people get to see that I'm not alone in this. I'm not the only one feeling this way. Like I thought, like I was the only one feeling like like I don't belong, or I'm a failure, or I'm just like, faking my way through life. But it's like, no, like there are other people out there feeling it, and it's important to express those in a safe environment, where you can. I wouldn't go to my boss and be like, I feel like a failure, whatever.
Right.
I wouldn't do that.
Come to your aunties.
Right, come to your aunties. Send us an Ask Your Auntie question. But I would say talking to others and listening to others' perspectives really helps people to recognize that they're not alone, and it helps them to get closer to the place of feeling more positive about their ability to work through it, as opposed to feeling helpless. And then the last
and that's why they say to get mentors and things like that. That's a key way
to
express some of these fears, or these whatever word you want to utilize. That's where that kind of really comes into play, because they can either help you guide you through these fears, or be like, no, bitch, you already did XYZ. This is a transferable skill.
Yes. and just one quick thing about mentors is my advice to anybody that's trying to look for a mentor is don't look for a mentor that's you're too close to. Objective mentors are best. People who you don't know like that. People who you've got to, because they can offer, they're not concerned about maintaining the relationship when they're giving you advice or they're challenging you to be greater. If you find somebody that is objective, you can have a professional relationship with them, but somebody that you're not cool with, because then they can provide you a very fresh perspective that you might not be considering. So my last piece on the imposter syndrome, the last piece of advice really is this notion of, setting realistic goals for yourself. If you feel overwhelmed, if you feel like you don't have the skills, if you feel like you were nominated for something to do this something and now you're in this thing and you don't think that you can live up to the expectation, recognize that a marathon was not ran all at once. It's one foot in front of the other. So set realistic goals for yourself. So if you're able to break down that big thing that feels so daunting down to miniature tasks that you can actually manage, what you will eventually find is that those little tasks add up to the big thing. And then next thing you know, you're looking back like, God damn it, I did that.
I done ran 26.2 miles. Damn.
Right.
My feet hurt, but I ran it.
So imposter syndrome is real. I talk to people all day that experience this. We do a lot of workshopping around this at my company. I experience this on a regular basis. Travis, I appreciate you bringing this up, because I know that you are also doing a lot of really transformational work at your organization. And, when we look around, we see a lot of really smart people that have years of experience doing this and doing that and PhDs and all this other kind of bullshit. But that doesn't light a candle to what you as an individual can bring to the motherfucking table, because ain't nobody you.
Period. Like I find whenever, like kind of just hearing all this too, I find whenever I'm in those moments, I must care about something too, because I want to be good at it. Damn it. So that's when it really. And so once I kind of realized, like, okay, Carell, you're having these slight little moments. That shows me that you must actually care about this and you want it to be good. So make that shit good.
Yeah.
If you go like I said this to Corey the other day because my dad used to say it all the time to us. It is so true. If you go do it. Meaning, don't half-ass it. You care about it. It brings you some kind of joy, brings you some kind of passion, or brings you some kind of monetary reward.
Yes.
If you go do it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
And meaning you'll find ways to get through it and to be the best that you can be at it. And but yeah, like again, and similar to like last week with the body issue thing, image thing, we all go through it. So once you kind of know that everybody kind of feel these at times, you don't feel as alone.
Yeah.
And the mentorship or the friendship, your partner, whoever you can find that can kind of help you talk you through this to get you off the damn ledge, because sometimes you're your own worst enemy about this shit and you start overthinking, be like, I ain't capable of it. No, ho, yes, you are, ho.
And I'm just going to put it out there real quick. I'm just going to put it out there. There's a lot of folks that are listening right now that are probably looking around and saying, I don't have people that I trust like that. And if you don't, you got 3 people on this call plus one, Henny, who you can reach out.
And another one, Tequila.
And Tequila. Yep. You can reach out to us. Like, we have a vast array of experience and whatnot. And if you can't talk to somebody that you trust within your sphere about these things professionally or whatever, reach out to your aunties. Like, that's what we're here for. So, you know, like, you are not alone. You don't have to do this on your own. This is not something that you're feeling just by yourself. This is very, very common. We're a very competitive country. And so in a lot of different fields, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of, like, you know, even just on social media, like everybody's looking at followers and counts and likes and all this other kind of stuff or whatever. There's a lot of competition that's going on that eats at our mental. You're not in this alone.
When I think about imposter syndrome, one of the reasons why I do my best not to allow it to get to me is because I always want to be, I'm not thinking about necessarily legacy, but I'm thinking about being a resource and being someone that other people, other individuals can look up to and use, that I can also mentor. And it doesn't mean that, like, those feelings come in and I block them out and I put on a facade. It's not that. It's, you
just know how to process it now.
Right. I know how to process it. And I know, and I'm not going to call these individuals out, but I know that there are some individuals at where I work at that need to connect with me weekly. And sometimes I'd be like, yo, damn, just figure this shit out. But, but then I have to dial back and just think to myself, okay, I am someone's mentor, whether they are using that word or not. Maybe that's their mindset. And so my mindset can be, I can be a resource. I can be a leader. I can also be someone that is just there to provide answers, but also to challenge them and be like, listen, you have this. And sometimes we all need that. Even if you are a bad bitch, sometimes you got to have someone tell you that you're a bad bitch. And like that actually happened today. I was talking to someone and I said, girl, you got this. You don't need to run this through me. You got this. And then she's like, okay, well, I want to go a little bit deeper. Okay, that's the deep shit that, if you want to talk about all the surface stuff, you got that. Let's talk about the stuff that you really that really, really matters, so that I can help you be the best leader that you can be. And then you can be the best leader to all of your frontline people. Because at the end of the day, it is your brand. And I might give you some advice. I might give you some opinions, some thoughts that maybe you don't align with, but at least you know what you are not for. So if I have an idea and you're like, you know what, that's not going to work, at least now you know that. So when it comes down to, like, just being a resource, when I have those moments of imposter syndrome, even whether it's work related, relationship related, I just think to myself, like, there's someone out there not watching me, but there's someone out there that is looking to me for guidance. That is looking for guidance, that's looking for mentorship. And so goodbye, imposter syndrome. We not fucking around with you today.
You a bad bitch, ho.
Right.
That's the title right there. Too. Damn, we just spit out these titles. And I can hear Hetty in the background of my head saying, wrap this shit up. So continue to send your questions to aya@minorityReport.com or DM us. Or we love these live T-line moments.
Yes.
And what is the number, Dewan? You got it in front
Yes,
of
I
you?
do.
Correct. You be
It
forgetting
is.
every time.
It is
So do.
844-832-5463 or
you,
844-T-line.
Damn, there we go. There we go. Now, and I mean, that's
Damn,
going to be
Corral.
Dewan now.
You've been
Nope,
forgetting
that's
that
Dewan
all
now
year.
from here on out.
You've been forgetting that all year.
Page. I know it's 8 some
Some,
T-line.
Well, and
On the
look,
T-line, like pretty Ricky.
and I ain't gonna front. It ain't like don't y'all be fooled because I rattled them numbers off. I'm reading them numbers off. I'm not remembering because y'all know I don't be remembering shit.
Shit.
Nope. So I'm like, you know what? He got it right there in front of him.
Yep,
That's his job
Got
now
it.
because I'll be like, damn, it's somewhere. I'll be like,
I got you.
But community, stay safe out there. We love you.
Yes.
Stop the imposter syndrome. Y'all some bad bitches because y'all part of the community. So just by, we bad bitches because of y'all and y'all bad bitches because of us.
Absolutely.
We just don't have a community of full of bad bitches with limited imposter syndrome because we need it in this world. You're here specifically for that. And until next week, anything else on your hearts and minds?
No. Enjoy the
We
week,
out this
y'all.
hoe.
Have a great
happy
Labor Day
Labor Day.
weekend.
Bye,
Enjoy
y'all.
yourselves.
Yeah.
Wash your hands and your legs and your ass. Bye.
All of it.
Bye.
Ooh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, do some of that too.
Mm.